Hi, hello, how are you? What is going on? Welcome to my channel. My name is Krista. If you're new here, welcome, welcome. If you are returning, how? Why? Why do you like to watch an idiot on the internet? I don't know, I like to do it too, no judgment. I have emerged back from the depths of isolation hell to talk to you today because something really bothered me, and it was the Shane Dawson and whole Jeffree Star, Tati James situation. Specifically last night, which was June 20th, when Shane's original 4-page manifesto statement got released. So I'm going to talk to you about that. I'm going to discuss my thoughts. The three main things that I think are wrong with that statement will be discussed, and we're just gonna chat and talk. But first, I will give you a quick recap in case your noggin can't hold on to all of this information that happened literally over a year ago. Quick recap. We're going quick. James Charles goes to Coachella, right? He's with Gummy Bear or Sugar Bear Hair, and they co-sign for him or do some brand deal with him, and so he gets passes, and he posts on his story about how great these vitamins are. They're not. Don't buy them. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Just like go to an actual dietitian if you need help, or a dermatologist. Anyway, he posts on his Snapchat or Instagram about Gummy Bear Hair because they're doing a sponsorship so that he can have Coachella tickets or whatever. Taji Westbrook, another famous beauty guru who's normally not involved in drama. That was the weirdest thing of all of this, that she was involved, because normally she's very unproblematic up until this point, I guess. So she gets involved. She sees this and she's like, oh my god, well, I have Halo Beauty, which is also a brand of skincare and hair care vitamins. And she feels offended because she feels like she mentored James Charles and was kind of there for him like a mom. And she thought they had a close friendship, and she felt betrayed. If we would have just ended there and Taji just texted him, I feel sad about this, and James Charles probably would have responded, oh my god, I'm so sorry, because, you know, he's a human person. I would assume he would, try and make amends or something. I don't know. Just my assumption. Most people would. But instead of doing that, she decides to post the iconic Bye Sister video in May of 2019. Bye Sisters basically accused James of being power hungry and kind of manipulative and not really valuing their friendship and just using her, you know, the typical stuff. But it also came with a very harsh and very terrible allegation that James Charles is a sexual predator. Now, that allegation caught a lot of heat. Not at first, though. At first, everyone was like, oh yeah, this is totally it. James Charles lost thousands upon thousands, maybe even 1 million subscribers because of that video, because everyone was just taking it at face value as it was true. Now, it's only been in the past few months that people have been questioning it and pointing out really that it's kind of a homophobic view, or kind of dog whistling homophobia, to be like, oh, this gay man's gonna hit on your straight men and try and turn them gay, because that's a very old trope for homophobia, is that gay men only like straight men and they're gonna try and make a move on straight men. So anyway, that all happened. Jefferson Starship out from the middle of nowhere decides to get his face involved, because that's literally what he does every single time. He just needs to be involved. So he gets his stupid little face involved and basically tweets at James, oh my god, you're sick, disgusting, I'm going to release all these receipts on you, fuck you, you're a terrible person. And he also tweets at James Charles' younger brother, who had nothing to do with this, and who was a literal child. He was under the age of 18, and you're going after a minor. Embarrassing. Anyway, he goes after him. He goes after his younger brother, saying he has all these receipts. James releases 2 videos, I believe. The first one wasn't so great. The second one was pretty good. He pulled the receipts on Tati, and he came out looking much better after that video, and I think that's when he started gaining subs back. But before any of that could happen, Jeffree Starship comes back, and as soon as he sees that James Charles is on the up and up again, decides to say, I'm a changed person. I don't want to be involved in the drama and release the receipts on James anymore, even though I said I had them, and even though I accused him of being a predator and all of these horrible things. I'm just gonna drop the charges. I'm gonna be a better person now. Sure you are. Sure you are. okay, whatever. You've been caught with your pants down and you don't actually have receipts, but whatever. So that whole thing boils down by like September of last year, September of 2019. And then we're in October, November. Shane and Jeffree decide to collab together. They make like an 8-part documentary series. They claim they're gonna expose the tea of the beauty community. It's really just an infomercial for a stupid little palette. So they make a palette collab together. It sells out multiple times. Everyone wants it for some reason. Because there are a lot of people who were a fan of Shane Dawson before this from his early YouTube content. I can't blame them for being a fan of him because like, I didn't really know him back then, but like maybe he had some redeemable qualities. Don't know, don't care. Not important anymore. So anyway, I feel bad for the fans who bought this genuinely wanting to support Shane because they thought he was a good changed person. Guess he's not. So it sells out multiple times, blah, blah, blah. And then we get to June. June, as you know, the Black Lives Matter movement, sorry, my mouth is dry. The Black Lives Matter movement has been really taking off. And there's been a lot of discourse about racism and, you know, all of that in the beauty community. And it's very important discourse to have. And some former friends of Jeffree Star have come out and released tweets and released videos and stories and sometimes even receipts about Jeffree Star and their friendships and how there might have been racism in there, how he might still use the N-word, this and that and this and that. So Jeffree Star is under fire at this point because, you know, he most likely is not a good person. We'll just put it at that. So he's most likely not a good person, and Dramageddon 2, which is what the event in May was called, gets brought back. It comes back to light. And people are starting to speculate now that James Charles was taken down on purpose by Jeffree and Shane. Mostly Jeffree. Jeffree orchestrated the whole thing because that's what a lot of the tea and receipts were showing from some of the videos of his former friends. So everyone's speculating that. Of course, Shane Dawson is now involved because he's a friend of Jeffree. So people are like, wait, Shane Dawson probably had a part in this because they were friends, which makes sense, right? Like, it makes sense. And then Shane Dawson just last night, June 20th, released a 4-page little manifesto that I thought was going to be an apology or like an explanation. It really wasn't. It was just calling the beauty community toxic and us all horrible people. And so that's where we are right now. Shane Dawson is back. And yeah, and then he deleted it just now, so find the screenshots if you want. I don't know what to tell you. Fast forward now a year later, and since the whole Black Lives Matter movement has really caught fire and really like taken off this month, a lot of people have come out against Jeffree Star, and former friends of his have said, you know, he has racist behaviors. They've made exposed videos on him. They've talked about him, you know, really bringing that to light in the beauty community. So Jeffree Star was already under fire. And then a couple of videos set off the idea that Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson were somehow in cahoots with Taji to release this video and take down James Charles. Because Jeffree Star was jealous that a 19-year-old was doing better than his 30-year-old ass. I don't know. That's basically what the gist of the situation is. I'm not a tea channel. I don't have the receipts. I can link you below to like find what you need to find. Or you can just not take my word for it. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just an idiot on the internet. So basically that's what all happened. And now Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson are receiving fire for orchestrating the takedown of James Charles, if you would. So Shane Dawson sees all of this and he posts like a 4-page long manifesto about how he didn't do anything wrong and how he wasn't involved and this and that and this and that, and how Jeffree's like family to him and James needed a slice of humble pie and like all of this ridiculous shit. He puts that on Twitter. The Twitter comments exploded. Like everyone was like, girl, this ain't it. There are obviously people defending him. God knows why. I've never understood the appeal of Shane Dawson. So if, like, I'm not coming from the perspective of someone who's been a fan for a long time or someone who's cared about him for a long time. I just found out who he was when the whole conspiracy palette came out. That was the other thing. In between Dramageddon 1 and now what's happening, Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star, as you probably already know, came out with the conspiracy palette Shane came out with a documentary, took his money and ran. And so that all has happened. And now we're at the point where Shane has released all of those statements and he deleted them. He just straight up deleted them. But what I wanted to really talk about was those statements and what I felt about the statements and why I don't like those statements and like the things that read terribly wrong to me. The first one being that James needed to be served a slice of humble pie. Who are you to serve it, sir? Like, did someone appoint you waiter at the Humble Pie Cafe? I'm waiting. Answer me that. I just don't understand people like that. Even if someone's being a jerk to you, or you think someone has too big of an ego, you don't have the right to try and ruin their entire life over having a big ego, like a normal 19-year-old. I mean, go to any 19-year-old at like a frat party and you will find exact like James Charles replicas as far as ego goes and, you know, maybe being a little narcissistic. But just because someone's a little egocentric and maybe a little narcissistic and maybe a little too proud of themselves doesn't give you or anyone the right to try and like ruin their lives or be friends with someone who's trying to ruin their lives. Because Shane's whole thing in this too, the second part that bothers me, is he's friends with Jeffree and he still wants to claim no accountability for what happened. But if you're friends with someone and you're co-signing their bad actions, then you're also at fault. Like, if your best friend murders someone and you're there and you're the getaway driver, you can be charged with murder too, sir. Like, don't know what you're talking about. Don't know why this is even a thing that you're trying to defend. You're friends with Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star had a role in the James thing. Maybe he didn't orchestrate it. I'm not going to accuse him of that. I don't know that for sure. No one knows. No one will probably ever know. That's okay. But to say that you had no part in it when Jeffree had a part in it and you were friends with Jeffree and co-signing Jeffree's behavior, writing your name, writing your signature on that shit and not telling him, hey, like maybe this isn't an okay thing to do to a 19-year-old kid over having a big ego, that makes you at fault. I don't know how else to tell you this. It's like the murder example. It makes you at fault, whether you want to admit it or not. And so instead of just saying, hey, I'm no longer friends with Jeffree, I realized what happened was wrong, or hey, I talked with Jeffree, we realized what happens is wrong, we're going to like set out an apology, we're going to like, you know, try and make amends, we're going to try and do better, or I'm just not friends with Jeffree in general, which would be probably the better route to choose after all of this. No. This man goes and puts out this 4-page long statement of absolute bullshit about needing a slice of humble pie. And third thing that's really just, this is the thing that really got under my skin, and I'm sure a lot of other people's skins, is when he starts talking about how the beauty community is toxic and how we're all just egotistical, narcissistic, money-loving, hungry, terrible people. Sit down. Shut up. I'm so sick of you. How dare you? You've been in the beauty community since your palette released, so for about, 8 months? And you weren't even that active of a member in the beauty community. You do not know that all of us are evil, awful people. You don't even know that all the top gurus are evil, awful people. Like, you can't say that. You don't know about the Project Pan community. You don't know about makeup rehab communities. You don't know, like, anything. You are completely out of line in saying that the whole beauty community is toxic. I don't think I'm toxic. I don't think my friends in the beauty community are toxic. I don't think liking beauty makes you narcissistic and toxic. That is such, it's making me so angry because that is such a misogynistic view of beauty, because beauty is a mainly woman-dominated thing, especially in makeup, and it still is, even though it shouldn't be, and men should be free to come and go as they please, but it is a very woman-dominated thing. So to come into the beauty community as a man and say, even if you're a gay man, that's the other thing. People are excusing Shane and they're like, well, he's a gay man, he can't be misogynistic. Shut up, go away. I'm not even listening to you anymore. Gay men can be misogynistic, whether you like that or not. Like, anyone can be misogynistic. Women can be misogynistic. Like, anyway, for you as a man to come into the beauty community and call what is probably like 60% female base that we're all toxic, drama-loving, narcissistic, is so misogynistic because it feeds into the narrative that women are only money hungry and they only want beauty and they don't have brains and they're selfish and they're deceptive women. I mean, you can trace this narrative back to the beginning of time, right? Women are only there to use you and like come up on you and, you know, make money from you, and they only care about their beauty. Shut up. Like, we're not toxic. The beauty community isn't toxic. There are plenty of non-toxic people in the beauty community. Raw Beauty Christy, Smoky Glow. I can't name them all right now because I'm upset. But like, there are so many amazing people in the beauty community, and for you to march your little ass in here, spend 8 months, and then talk about like how we're all just terrible toxic people, welcome to the circus. Sir, welcome to the circus when you are co-signing the behavior of the ringmaster? Ridiculous. Like, do you not know how stupid you look right now? Horrible. And on top of that, like, people have been saying that Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star have a lot of problems for a very long time and have never properly apologized. And I could, like, I don't even know anymore. I feel terrible for all the people who bought the conspiracy palette because they were a genuine fan of Shane. Because I don't believe he's been bad forever. Like, I don't know the guy that well. I can't say that. So if you were a genuine fan and that's why you bought the palette, I feel bad for you because now you're being called toxic by the very man who you looked up to and gave money to. So it hurts. It hurts. There's so much wrong in his statement, but the beauty community being a very toxic place is just so out there and so wrong. Everyone that I have met in the beauty community has been so kind to me. And like, yeah, I haven't met the major influencers, so I can't say, oh, like, they're best friends with me, they were so nice to me, they let me in their house or anything. But like, everyone that I've met, the smaller channels that I've watched, you know, they're all really nice people who just like makeup and who just like to put shiny shit on their face. They're not out to get anyone or anything. So calling them toxic, calling all of us toxic, while you co-sign behavior of Jeremiah Starfish is offensive and terrible and, quite frankly, reeks of misogyny. We can't and we shouldn't forgive people for doing a repeated pattern of behaviors such as what Jeffree Star has done over the years, and I think it sucks that Shane Dawson got pulled in. It always sucks to see someone who you thought was genuine and true get pulled into things, but I feel like Shane Dawson's comments in that post, in that Twitter thread, whatever, in his manifesto, were just so outrageous and so hurtful to so many people. Like, I don't know how you can work through that and forgive that, especially because of how he ended it. He ended it by deleting the post, so he's not standing by what he said. He deleted the post, and then he posts, I'm too sensitive for this shit, like, I'm leaving, peace out. You can't use that. Like, you've hurt people, you really upset people, and you can't use the, oh, I'm sensitive, I can't deal with this, goodbye. That's like me calling you a name and then being like, well, it's gonna make me cry if I have to apologize, so I gotta go, bye. And like deleting my apology and piecing off the face of the earth. That's not how it works. You can't just do that, and I think that only added more pain to what people were feeling about the whole situation. So I wish he wouldn't have done that. I wish he would have just said sorry, explained maybe where he was in the situation, what was going on, why he didn't feel it was that bad at that time, apologized again because he needs to, and maybe done like some reparative actions. I can't speak today. Reparative actions such as reaching out to James Charles, or, you know, just posting a video apology and a Twitter apology and an Instagram apology probably would be great, so that everyone on all platforms can see it. And just letting it be, saying your piece, and just accepting what you've done is wrong and you need to try and fix it. But instead, he put out a 4-page manifesto about how we're all toxic and we're all egotistical and just terrible people, and James needs a slice of humble pie from a 30-something-year-old man. It's just, everything in it was just horrible. Like, that was a terrible apology. It wasn't even an apology, really. It was just telling us that we're all part of a circus and we suck. And he's done with us after he's made his money. I don't even know. I need water because this is stressing me out too much. Anyway, with that all being said, thank you for watching. The reusable drinking apparatus of today is this Copco plastic cup that I got at a thrift shop for like 70 cents, and it was the best 70 cents I've ever spent because I drink out of this thing like 24/7 because I like the straw. Don't ignore my lipstick on it. Anyway, thank you for listening. Let me know what you think down below. I'm not sure that my read of the drama and being called, you know, overly dramatic as a community is actually misogynistic, but to me, I hear a dog whistle when I hear that phrase, that we're all dramatic and money hungry. That's a dog whistle to me of misogyny. So I'd love to know what you think. Leave it down below. Everything that you need will be down below. I don't know what I'm gonna put down there, but it'll be stuff. So let me know what you think. Feel free to chat with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!